Barevjev bari galust mer tragir. Zdravейте, добри душни, отново в нашата програма. Извеюли юг, а програмун пан. Bonjour et bienvenue dans notre programme. Hallo und willkommen zurück zu unserem Programm. مرحبا بكم مجددا في برنامجنا. سلام به برنامه ما خوش آمدید. Como está, Malingayam? Pagbabalik sa aming programa. Salam ve programımıza hoş gelmişsiniz. Hello और हमारे प्रोग्राम में दोबारा खुश आमदीद. Merhaba ve programımıza tekrar hoş geldiniz. Hello and welcome to the program. I am Suren. Do humans really exist? A good question. If so, how can we prove it to be true? When we go very close to the organism which make a human being, indeed a human being, the tissues and every part of it, and observe them at an atomic level, what do we see? Question mark. The truth is that we see a lot of empty spaces therein, with everything that we consider physical reality. We talk about love, and we talk about free will. And if we can only say that they don't exist, then we might still be only dreaming. If we are dreaming, what is the reality? Science tells us that we exist, and so we still question if we do really exist. Physically, that is. Scientifically, at least, we could point out, after conducting certain tests, that we do not exist and that we are only part of a dream. Just imagine. Do you have a dream? We have to be in a position to contain that dream. That alone tells us that we have something, perhaps even an organ, which we know as brain, lets us to be able to formulate what thoughts exist, in which we are dreaming, perhaps, of being alive. Is that how it works? Is that how it feels? If free will doesn't exist, what does? If free will is only in our dreams, why then should we bother about being free to do anything? Even to be able to invent something or to discover? Is it perhaps only part and parcel of a dream? I know that we have too many questions to answer. Some of us believe that Earth is flat. You might be one of them too. But science showed us, especially after going into space and observing the other planets and even our own planet from that distance, as well as our moon and others, and they are most definitely round. Are we still dreaming? If the Earth is flat, we need to have some proof that it is not something we may be unable to understand. Because we have this so-called something we know as intelligence, and we can prove that we are thinking and what we are saying is correct, and we can confidently say that the Earth is not flat. If it is really flat and we don't know it, where is it placed? Anywhere in space. What about perhaps those other planets? And the moon needs to be observed first. And why the shadows under the sun observed on the curvature of the planet Earth happens the way it does, proving thus that it is not flat. When we travel from one point on the surface of the vertical object called the planet or an Earth, how come we always come back to the same spot? No matter where we go and in which direction we travel, we always end up coming back to the same spot. No matter where we go, in which direction we move, is that perhaps if it is like a flat plate and we are like the ants going around and around and around in circles? Question mark. Where is that plate being placed? Perhaps the elephant's trunks, keeping that plate of earth on there, on the back of the tortoises, and the tortoises are on the top of the waters. Where are those waters? Tortoises and elephants are placed on. What is holding the planet in one place? You may consider now the gravity of the planet. Is the point of gravity, when you are moving on top of it, it is then just a flat plate? Do you have any pointers that we are not yet knowledgeable of or about? All sorts of things, let alone our feelings, emotions, dreams, and everything. What are we, in a sense, when we talk or when we formulate our words. If they only are dreams, when we create our gods as human beings and worship them and believe in being created, what is the absolute truth? What can love, spirituality, and understanding ourselves can be just a part of some dreaming? We need probably to ground ourselves first, to know where we are at and who we are. Just think about it. That list shows that humans are quite capable of telling us that we are real and not made like automatons or simply robotics. We have feelings. Are we still dreaming about our feelings? With all our emotions or loves and everything else, we exist somewhere? Is it only in our dreams? What about the cycle of life and death? What do we know about that? Oh yes, they are of those who have been there and died and came back and told us their experiences about the afterlife. How much of it is true? Or are they altogether telling us fibs only? Are you real? Are you really thinking by yourself? Are you really breathing? Are you truly going to keep on living forever? Are you being educated? Or perhaps repeating someone else's thoughts? What if somebody told you that there is no life and that your love, your free will, your hatreds, nothing exists in reality? What is everything you are thinking of? Is it nothing more than just imagination? What if everything you are seeing does not exist? What if what you consider as you do is nothing more than just a passing thought or questioning? Light briefly appears and disappears within the large containment of the entire universe. What is the universe and life in it? Everything is set in action in the universe. There is not any logic, and you know what logical thinking is deep down, without realizing or needing to explain what it is. When you calculate 1 and 1, that will make 2, not 3 or 5. Why is there such a thing called logic? Think about it. Is it only your imagination? What is imagination? Where does it come from? You are not sure of anything surrounding your world, which you can explain in a limited fashion through science or through religion, which is nothing more than imagination. Even science the hardcore science is a believer in nothing, but researcher in everything that you can also imagine. What is it all about? And explain what is not. You know the difference between warmth and cold, heated up or frozen. Knowing the difference between the two extremes. And that is what you call wisdom. What is wisdom? Do you know how we are thinking rather than, shall we say, beginning to think? Every time you start to think, you are imagining nothing interesting in the universe. Observe, and the light you receive from thousands of light years away, or like many years away, part of your imagination? Question mark. You can create your perfection in your imaginations. You can put yourself in the Garden of Eden, if you like. You can become a god, the creator, and everything around it in your imaginations. But is everything really nothing other than imagination? Where does that imagination exist? You have been constantly conditioned to feel, to think, to understand in a certain way. Perhaps you feel like you can go and combine a few things, and you do have food to do like you and make you feel that there has to be something to cover you up, like a roof, for instance, above your dwelling. And the rest of your beautiful home, you spend what you have earned for through hard work. And you have a beautiful place to live in. Or you are miserable. You feel that there is no future for you other than to live on the streets. If you find yourself homeless, you may become a beggar. What is it all about? It is nothing but imagination. What you are really an emergent one. Is everything cool? And if everything is created in imagination, then why not create something more enjoyable? What is it? What are you decided to experience? Is it logical to want to experience misery for your need? As in your imagination of love, everything beautiful as everything needs to be beautiful and fun to be with, or fun to be surrounded with. Why did you choose misery? Have you? Sickness, homelessness, then you think of life, an ending of life, where you discover beauty, comfort, wealth. That is your heart's desire. But what if everything is simply imagination? Question mark. What is left other than love? Convert is nothing more than what is imagined. Everything that changes constantly, everything that is normal, create the impression that it cannot be real. If something is not real, is usually labeled as imagination, correct? But what is imagination again, in truth? Is everything we see, everything we can touch and feel, every thought, every sunrise, and every sunset, imagination? Question. Nihilism will not answer your questions of reality. If you want to feel you are real, you need to accept. And there is something that you can rely on, something that you can believe in, and accordingly act and leave all that behind, if you like, and live your life. There has to be a very healthy nihilism also that may be helpful. However, complete optimism may also be questionable. Where are you now? What you are doing right now? Thinking? Imagining? Living? Or not part of your dreaming, which you need to accept it to be your reality? What is reality in itself? When you can touch, smell, feel, and logically believe everything to be true, everything you observe, that is, everything you see, everything you are, every breath you take in, and every breath you exhale, everything that you tell yourself you cannot be just a dream. Something makes you think. Something makes you feel. Something makes you laugh and breathe. Are you just an imagination, or is your own creations, which you may easily consider as God, then it would make you feel as a god like. The God? Question mark. What is that reality? What is a dream? Do you know the difference? Are you a realist or a pessimist? Which path will take you to real existence? Which you did when you don't exist? You are nothing more than a tree. Could this be the reality? But nothing exists. When you eat and drink and breathe, live your life and be happy or not, what are you? Are you for real? If you can touch, sense, feel the heat and love and accept or not accept, how can you not be real? Your thoughts are real, and you are here by being here. What are you when in love? What are you when unhappy or just feeling that you are not sure or happy, what you are here alone makes you real. And you don't see you as real as you are. Do you see others as they are? There must be some reality in regard to this issue, for sure. Have you discovered yet? So many times you imagine something, or even you consider it in your dreams. Then it becomes a reality, and stop everything, your nightmares and your joys. Why and how? What makes you feel you are real in reality? Have you also discovered that when you imagined, or when you are being happy, everything around you felt so different? And perhaps pink of beauty surrounded you, and sunshine made it so tangible. You made a decision to be happy, and everything around you becomes happier. Joyful people around you, and you are happy. And thinking perhaps you are doing everything happily and pleasantly. But imagine that your world is always in darkness. You have nothing to be happy about, with nothing to go out for. And you discover very unhappy faces around you, looking at you. And those unhappy people will be talking to you about their misery. Like attracts like, remember? Animals will treat you accordingly. You don't see roses anymore as you walk with your eyes closed. And those roses are withering. All you see are thorns, just like that. What is happiness and what is misery? A dream, perhaps? Imagined? What is the reality? According to dictionary, reality is the state of things which actually exist, as opposed to a national or notional and even idealistic idea of them. Reality is also actually experienced or seen, especially when this is an unpleasant, like realities. This is a thing that exists in fact, only having existed previously in one's mind, such as they wanted to make the dream and reality. Also, it is the quality of being lifelike, like reality, TV shows or reality shows. Furthermore, it is a state or quality of having an existence or substance. Philosophically, at least speaking, it is about existence that is self-sufficient, or objective, or absolute, and not subject to human decisions or human conventions. In reality, meaning in actual fact, contrasting a false idea of what is true or possible. Or the reality is as used to, that is the truth of the matter, is not what one would think or expect in reality. Do we make sense so far? What is the full meaning of reality? That is the quality or state of being real. You are not a word. The quality or state of being real. Reality is something that is not good, get over to go dependent, but exists necessarily. What is the difference between reality and unreality with your right planning in the right mindset? One's dream of life can become a reality. To make those dreams a reality, one would likely to require a sweep of other parties, other realities. Trending stories in technology, for instance, and alternative infrastructure to make this a reality already exists. You know the words and sentences which contain reality. What is this augmented reality then, other than divorced from reality, or in reality, or losing his grip on reality, lost in touch with reality, or reality check? And of course, there is something called virtual reality. Consider time traveling, for instance. Let's talk about how children define reality. 1. The quality or state of being is real. 2. Someone or something real or actual can become a reality. 3. TV programs that show videos of actual occurrences as police chases, natural disasters, etc. What does reality really mean? The other thing is the sum or aggregate of all that is real or existent within the universe. How do you oppose to that which is only imaginary, non-existent, or not actual? The term is also used to refer to the ontological status of things, indicating their existence. Which reality do you prefer? Virtual reality or actual reality? Virtual reality is often referred to as virtual classes or simulated experience that can be similar to or completely different from the real world. In fact, it involves new technology, and users can engage with computer-generated environments and objects, simulating physical presence. Virtual reality helps create environments and interactions in computer-generated settings, designed to get essential presence and an illusion. This can be achieved through 3D visuals and sounds and interactive elements. Actual reality, however, is also known as the physical reality or physical classes, referring to everyday tangible experiences in the physical real world. It deals with events, objects, people, and natural phenomena which exist independently of the individual perceptions. It includes the totality of what exists and happens in the physical world experience through the senses we feel. It involves tangible elements like buildings, cities, natural features, interactions, and relationships between individuals. You can include also the physical sensations, emotions, and thoughts that are part of human experiences in the real world. There is a debate going on between virtual reality and actual reality in the scientific and or technological sense. Both have their own merits. Could one do a social interaction? Actual reality. Promote among staff and students, fostering interpersonal connections. In contrast to virtual reality, and often limits interaction to oneself. Emotional connections. And it's flexible. Actual reality is not flexible, as all staff must work together. Organizational goals, promoting motivation and disciplines. Gradual reality, however, offers flexibility, determining which is more expensive depends on the various factors. Virtual reality incurred costs for electronic equipment, computers, and so forth. Actual reality involves costs for the materials, rents, and transportation. There's a big difference between them. Each approach, meaning actual what virtual reality have, their own advantages and disadvantages. Ultimately, there is no right or wrong answer as to which is better. The choice depends on individual priorities and lifestyle. A realist is a person who sees the world as it literally is and deals with it accordingly. Have lots of fun. However, believes that universals are real and exists independently, or anyone's thinking of an existing independently of any thinking of them. The reality is combining all of your experiences and knowledge of the world in order to accurately understand how things appear to you and to determine the stage of the world as it really is, where as objective reality is, not taught in schools of any kind. Most people live in a fantasy world without even knowing it. This is not normal. Understanding reality, however, assists us predict things by probability. But reality is in fact multifaceted, and you are part of them. So you don't need to explain the whole thing, because the reality in itself is relative, like time in space. And it depends on the observer. If, however, your observer is unable to think, and they don't have access to information, allowing for a different perspective, what then? Reality is the beginning of a conversation, but it is not a conclusion. Actuality is the state of actually existing objectively and existing objectivity. Can you believe something perceptible by the senses, especially by the sense of touch? Corporeal is having material or physical form or substance. It affects how you characteristically of the body as opposed to the mind or spirit. Corporeal, substance or matter, because rest mass, and usually also volume, incorporeal. Material world refers to physical world, where we all live. Where can we play? While we are all having natural senses like sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, movement, feelings are capable of grasping the concrete realities, like people, for instance, or places, thanks as they appear to us. Substances or real physical matter of anything and any people. The intended idea that a communication is about, or a particular kind of species of matter with uniform properties. It's called substance. Meeting, holding together, retaining a shape. There is also consensus reality, which is generally agreed upon version of reality within a community or even a society that is shared experiences and understandings. This arises from the inherent differences in individual perspectives or subjectivity that is relating to knowledge or inherent differences in individual perspectives. What subjectivity is relating to knowledge or ontology, leading to uncertainties about what is real. So we can use this consensus in a pragmatic style guide on the assumptions that it seems to approximate some kind of reality, or because it is more practical than perceived alternatives. Consensus realities, therefore, refer to the agreed upon concept of reality, which people in the world, what a culture or a group, believe are real or treated as real, usually based upon doubt and common experiences as they believe. What about collective consciousness? Question mark. Social constructionism suggests several facets of social reality. Such beliefs, like norms and values, are formed through continuous interactions, and it goes as you should. If your social constructionism posits that much or what individuals perceive as the reality is actually the outcome of what dynamic process of construction affected by social conventions and structures. Examples of social constructs range widely, such as concept of self, identity, value of money, beauty standards, gender, language, race, ethnicity, social class, social hierarchy, nationality, social norms, modern calendar, and other units of time, marriage, education, citizenship, femininity and masculinity, social institutions, and even the thought of social construct itself. You see, some think that we can, to the best to our knowledge, figure out and define reality by ways of scientific research and experience. Using this method, we cannot include personal beliefs, personal opinions, or a curiosity, because these things cannot be easily confirmed. Even tough religious beliefs, curious and personal opinions are essential in keeping our minds open, we should always have areas of research that stick to what definitions we know, using the knowledge that we can confirm. This helps minimize the confusion and misunderstandings. So, reality is a relative word, and it is an illusion when you are unaware that you are living in a fantasy world. Illusion can be any type of division. When you don't know that it is an illusion, when you know something is an illusion, is it still an illusion? That's a question. Children and adults spend too much time living in their own personal fantasy world, and then they do in reality. The reason is that people are not even aware when they are in front of the world, because they have not yet totally defined what reality is. The difference between reality and fantasy is truly blurred. We need to define these two things differently. We need to practice awareness and also needing to have a baseline. And we need to keep learning and experiencing. Reality is a word that describes what is and what may happen in the future. Humans have many methods of measuring and predicting. What is it for reality was here longer than humanity's existence on Earth. So we can see that humans' role in reality is constantly evolving and expanding as we learn more, and reality will never stay totally the same for humans. Looks weird, doesn't it? And predictable at times. But we know that the more we learn about reality, the less weird reality becomes, and more predictable. And so we end our current episode for now. We will meet you again here by the next episode. Until then, keep smiling and be happy. That is reality. Thank you.